Subscribe to Rasslin with Racism on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, fan base, and at Non-Crackers at Al on Twitter X for more white truths.
But I think
You can understand how difficult it is for a black man to make his way in the world. You black. Now I have the utmost respect for you. Get out of here. And I am just hoping.
Coffee's good with cream, but better when it's black.
Subscribe to Rasslin with Racism on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, fan base, and at Non-Crackers at Al on Twitter X for more white truths. Welcome to Rasslin with Racism. We're out here to lives. If you are an American Negro and you are not subscribed, check out the other content. And if it hits you to the core, subscribe and share with every single American Negro that you know, whether they are wrestling fans or not. You may also check us out at Wrestling with Racism on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, fan base, and at Non-Crackers at Al on Twitter X, where you can find more white truths. I'm being joined by my co-host, the owner of a stolen gun. What's up?
Peace and greetings, everybody. How you doing?
We're doing great. Foundational bearded American. What's up?
How y'all doing, family?
We're doing great. Y'all saying this shit like they just about to respond back. Deportation 2025. What's going on?
Just chilling.
Have you been seeing little Mexicans running around the place hiding and shit?
I haven't seen any yet.
Okay, so they not scared of ICE, huh? They say we fucking
Might be too
Americans
many.
too, Chilipo. It's a lot that's been going on this week. It's funny, man, because just when I think that I could get a break, I was thinking about not doing nothing this week on this, considering what we got coming up possibly this weekend. But then, get something going on NXT. You got something that's not going on NXT. You got a little something that's going on AEW, and you got something that's not going on in AEW. And then you got a white supremacist being exposed as a white supremacist, but no one will admit that she is a white supremacist. I'm talking about Linda McMahon. We're gonna get on that in a minute. First of all, I didn't see it and I don't know what happened. I know what happened at the end, so we could start with Monday Night Raw. Did y'all see Raw?
Nope.
Yeah, I saw it.
Owner?
Did not catch raw.
Okay, so Chad, can I get an American Negro update?
Well, Xavier Woods showed up at the end of the show. That's about it. It was lackluster. It feels like I'm in Groundhog Day watching Raw week after week after week. And it's yeet after yeet after yeet every beginning of the show. This time it was about cold 16 and a half minutes. Um, I've never
Was
been
it a
more
double
grateful for
entrance?
Gunther. He did run it back, but we could tell it wasn't impromptu. It was ready this time. It was they extended it and then he ran it back a little bit, and then White when he ran it back. I've never been. Happier to see Gunther in my life. Knocked his ass right
So
off that fucking pedestal.
for the record, you said that Xavier Woods showed up at the end, and obviously he showed up with Kofi Kingston, but he showed up at the end. Did they show the attack? Because from my understanding, they cut
No,
it off.
they cut it off right when the attack happened. Literally right when the attack happened.
That's smart. I like that method. I wish they would have done that before. But for the fact that you chose to do this with an American Negro and you're not heavily promoting this, the WWE is not heavily promoting this. It's usually these white folk on Twitter that's promoting this shit. But they chose to cut them off. So even in the main event, you still cannot feature American Negroes in a prominent position in on Netflix. I mean, is that do y'all believe that it was purposely done, or did they do it with the intentions of ending off with some type of shocker or excitement?
I mean, the excitement was from the match. If you really wanted to, make something, tangible and decent, interfere in the match. They didn't even do that. Um,
Well, I mean,
I
because
don't
Rey Mysterio
remember.
lost anyway, and he didn't lose because of New Day, right?
No, he lost clean to Logan Paul.
Now, I understand that Logan Paul is a big draw for the WWE. But Rey Mysterio has not been a main eventer over the last couple of months, and Logan Paul is not a main eventer. He's a main attraction. He's not a main eventer. What was the reason for this match being the main event? Although I know it was for the elimination chamber spot, why do you think that what other matches took place for this match to be the main event?
It was you mean even the match with Io Sky was a little bit better than that one. I mean, it wasn't a bad match. I think the purpose of them closing out with Logan Paul and Rey Mysterio was to push and appease to Logan Paul. I mean, he had spot after spot in that match. And he
Well,
won
my
clean.
point in asking that was that the highest profile match that they had that night? Did they do anything with the tag? Who is the tag team champions? What the fuck?
War Raiders, and yes,
Who the
I
hell is the
believe
Raw
they had
Raiders? When they in NXT a couple
uh,
years ago? Otis
that's
and shit?
correct.
Otis and Tucker or something?
Um, nah, I forgot what they Eric and Ivar. Yeah, Eric and Ivar.
I remember those names. So who is Otis and Otis was the fat motherfucker. And Tucker, what the fuck ever happened to him? Because I remember Otis was like with Chad Gable or some shit. I don't know. I don't give a shit. Um, so the War Raiders are the tag team champions. I was on another space a couple of days ago, um, where we were talking about Triple H's book in detail. Um, and I kind of glossed over the tag team division. The thing about them, pretty much since the Usos held the title for like a year or two, and they finally separated the titles at WrestleMania this year, last year. Since they've done that, they have had no movement on the tag team championship, as far as feuds or whatever. Even appearing on PLEs, they have done nothing with them all, pretty much all of last year. And the things that they did with the SmackDown Tag Team Championships has been a little, it's been moving a little bit, but it made no real impact. Um, since the War Raiders are the tag team champions, how long have they held the titles?
I think over 60 days, closing on
I
90.
had
They've had
no idea about that. That's crazy.
yeah,
What have they done since obtaining the tag team titles?
come in aid of Damian Priest, beef with the Judgment Day. Uh, Technically put Lord Farquaad on the shelf, aka JD McDonough, and one title offense against Judgment Day, which they retained. That's about it.
Just a couple of weeks ago when JD McDonough got hurt, I forgot what I said, but white folk they went nuts.
You
They
said, I think you said Owen Hart.
I did compare him to Owen Hart or something. It was something like that. And I don't know why I was racially attacked. Because I'm
Jeez.
pretty sure I gave some, especially if I mentioned Owen Hart. I'm pretty sure I gave some kind words.
Wow. Wow. They went for burning crosses off of kind words.
Yeah.
Huh. That sound about right.
Oh man, I'm going through it right now with Alicia Taylor, um, Daniel Chimmel, or what's his name, Dave Chimmel,
Mm.
Tony Chimmel. My bad.
Tony Chimel?
Tony Chum.
Yeah, Tony Chemmel. It was a poster said that he wanted to come back for WrestleMania to announce John Cena. And and I just said that pretty much, like, that he wanted to just take the shine and the spotlight away from Alicia Taylor. You know what I'm saying? And when I say stuff like that, and white folk, they think that I'm being racist by saying that. No, how many American Negro announcers have we had? How many American Negro announcers have we had at WrestleMania specifically? And because you want to continue to promote white supremacy, you're going to take the shine away from an American Negro who has the potential to not even have a job with the WWE by next year because you want to continue white supremacy. We talked about how nostalgic the WWE was, how they thrive off of nostalgia. Um, when we look back on the history of the WWE and nostalgia, what do we have to look back on? And this caters back to our Black History Month. When you think of American Negroes on or before 2000, who do you think of?
Ahmed Johnson.
And white folks shit on him more than anybody. Anybody else?
Ron Simmons. Coco Ware. JYD. You know, the whole boy.
Um, for the record, not for the record, just for time and sake, I'm pretty sure everyone else can agree with the people that he named. So instead of renaming those people, Chad, can you add on to that?
Yes. I would say Farouk.
I
A
just
young
said
Harlem
don't
Heat.
repeat.
I don't. He said Farouk.
Uh, Ron Simmons, go ahead, you get it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. I'm sorry. But Harlem Heat. Uh, and also before 2000, not really though. Not really.
Oh,
It was heavy.
that's
It was
that's
heavy,
crazy.
heavy, heavy mayo that I could
Yeah,
think right now.
that's crazy. Mike, instead of repeating, is there anyone that you want to add on to that list?
You
Did
just
y'all
say
say
Chuck
Bad News
Brown.
Brown?
No.
Can we add him?
Yeah. You can add any American Negro that you want.
Is Ahmad Johnson one of us, or did y'all already say that?
He's already been said, and he is an American Negro.
Hmm, okay.
I also pointed out that Ahmed Johnson is one of the most shitted on uh, people, wrestlers, to white folk.
Yep.
Even though we talked about how big people are supposed to be unconventional, but it's okay. I understand. Um, I want to talk about that unconventional wrestler and what is a professional wrestler. We're going. That's a new subject I'm gonna talk about. So just somebody remind me if we don't get to it. I'm gonna try to make it soon. Mike, do you have anybody else before I move on?
Nope.
Okay, so it was the reason I asked that. We also got Iceman King Parsons. We also got shit. Why did his name slipped my head that quickly? Tuco Scorpio. That's crazy. Which I would think that this would be his year for the WWE Hall of Fame, but apparently the WWE may not see it that way. Of course, we got our Ernie Lads and our um, Bobo Brazil, who is one of the favorites down here in Michigan. Um, but that's not. I don't think that we named 20 people. And to New Jack, and New Jack was one of the only ones. Him and Mustafa was the only ones to really represent us in ECW. Two Cold Scorpio. So we do gotta, credit ECW for being a racist organization as well. Anti-black, a white supremacist organization. Because I believe that all of their champions were white on top of that, right? Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody except for Taz, who's Italian.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't think
Um,
of any FBA wrestler that held the world title in ECW.
Ezekiel Jackson. Did he hold the
Wait,
title
he's
in
got no. He's not. He's not an
No,
American
like the real
Negro.
ECW, not
He
that
not?
bullshit WWE
No,
ECW.
he's from. He is from. He's Guyanese.
Oh God. Oh, I knew that. I knew that back in the day. I forgot.
Yeah, I
Shit.
knew that when they started that group called the Core,
Yeah, I forgot
call
about
him
that.
the
That's when he
Guyanese
popped up with an
Guyanese
accent.
monster or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now that he was trash. Y'all want to sit up and talk about Ahmed Johnson.
come on now. Oh,
Um,
also I want to throw D'Lo Brown and Pez Wheatley in
I
there
knew
too.
we was missing some people. Is Pence Watley, is he a Cuban or some shit? We're gonna have to double check
I'm
on him.
still looking. Yeah, I'm
Uh,
still looking at it.
we're gonna have to double
They
check
say
on him.
American, but
I said
I'm
off the
not
top
sure.
of your head, and you've been up here looking for black wrestlers and shit. D'Lo
Couldn't think of
Brown
the
was
names of
actually
them.
one of the people I was thinking about, and his name just couldn't cross my head right quick. Now, that's the reason that I asked this question, because we didn't name. I don't even think we named 20 people, and we talking about the historics. So let's
Yeah.
go into since the 2000s. What American Negro wrestlers have y'all looked toward in the high regards in the 2000s? We could go back and throw Mark Henry out there. We could go
There
back
you
and
go.
throw uh,
Jay
Jay
Lethal.
Lethal.
Jay Lethal. Well, Jay Lethal was that time frame. That Jay Lethal is in this time frame.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
um,
Yeah, that man don't get enough credit.
primetime Elite Skipper, uh,
Oh yes.
Booker T in this time frame. Um,
Is Norman Smiley an American Negro?
no,
Okay, that's
um,
What
okay.
about
Just making
Alpha
sure.
Male Monty Brown?
yes,
That's a good question.
yes.
Okay.
I seen Monty Brown about 2 years ago. He still comes up to one particular promotion. He doesn't
Watch
wrestle.
out. Vehicle on shoulder
But
ahead.
he come and show some love sometimes. So I was able to see him a couple of years ago. He doing good, but I wish things had turned out better for him.
Fuck Jeff Jarrett.
It wasn't Jeff Jarrett. He was WWE. He was in the WWE by that time. He had personal issues that he had to tend to. Actually,
He had to take care of his family,
yeah,
which honestly is much better than any championship. And we should be honored for that.
yeah.
And
Oh, okay.
also, hello everyone.
Duke, what's up?
Just want to there's this up, but yeah, there's not a lot of like past 20 years. You have cosplayers, Cena for one. I would say Booker T, but I mean, I think his best stuff was like in WCW. Even when they screw the stuff up with Vince Russo,
Well,
I
just for
think
the
that was his
record, though,
best
Booker
stuff.
T would be in this topic because the topic is pretty much what American Negroes can we look up to in this time frame. Before you got up here, we already went through the 90s and 80s and previous to that. So now we are up to the 2000s, and Booker T, did have a good solid 10 years in the
Mm-hmm.
2000s.
Ron the Truth
Yeah,
Killings
King
in
Booker.
TNA.
I feel like this is
Yeah,
like a worse time for Black American wrestlers.
It
Like the
seemed like it, don't it? That's kind of what I was leading to. Why did you say that?
Because I'm thinking like as a child watching wrestling, like it was nobody but like Shelton Benjamin, maybe.
Yeah, and that was it. And I mean, you had Crime Time. Then they broke them up
Come to
That was
because
find
like
out, Crime
after.
Time is
That was
not
like
a
that
come.
was like '06, '07.
Come to find
I'm
out,
thinking
Crime Time wasn't American Negroes, but it was a gap because Shelton Benjamin was more '03 to '06, and then by the
like
time Crime Time got there, Shelton Benjamin pretty much faded out. And remember, Shelton Benjamin did not have a long career in the WWE at all. And it was crazy too because Shelton Benjamin did so much as to beat Evolution. Like within a month time span, he beat Batista, he beat Ric Flair twice. I'm sorry, he beat Triple H twice, and he beat Ric Flair. I think Randy Orton was injured at the time. But it,
I think he beat Triple
yeah, he
H
beat
twice.
Triple H twice, and
hmm
that was
Yeah.
the thing that they was going with. And that was just a whole solid month to where he was beating Evolution, and then they just literally flatlined after that.
oh yeah, there's not much
Yeah.
there. Of you got, like I said, I mean, John Cena was cosplaying as and such, and that got him all popular. And same as Jey Uso, same as everything else. They say, well, we don't need black guys; we just get the cosplayers.
Owner, I meant to tag you in something earlier today. I ran into a promo from John Cena. I'm trying to find it real quick. I may have did it on my other page. I did.
this is before he started rapping.
Yeah, this before he started rapping, and it was horrible.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, before he got the swagger, the attitude, wearing his hat funny, and wearing Nike sneakers. He was just bland. He didn't have any. He didn't have nothing.
he wasn't just bland; he was horrible. It was a horrible promo.
All
It's
he
like,
had was that ruthless aggression thing,
yeah,
and then he just faded away, and he was not anything close to interesting.
but it
Then
Then he
was
him and
started
our
rapping.
Vince
culture.
watched 8 Mile and they came up with this gimmick.
It was our culture to where he had that ultimately put him over to the point where he's about to go on a year long retirement tour, so to speak, which is something that American Negroes do not get. We don't even have a special night to honor our retirements or anything like that. You know, um,
That is for people who have power and such. And most of black folk here, we don't do the sacrifice. A lot of us, and not saying anyone else here, but I think as a group, I feel like we haven't really did the necessary steps to get that power. And once we do
well,
get that power,
America put us in a position where we gotta just look out for ourselves. You know, I,
individualism is poison.
yeah,
It
but
is,
honestly,
and no one
do
talks
most
about.
people
Oh,
have a
it's all
choice?
this other stuff. Yeah, they're saying individualism is a problem.
So I want to correlate this real quick because I don't want to lose this point. Owner, you was talking about how it could be much worse, even though we see more black face at a time. Why is it that it still seem much worse? Anybody got a reason for that? Is it because that of the time that we living in, where okay, so we could see the people, but we can't see the success? Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can hear you.
Is it the fact that we could see the people, but we can't see the success? We could see, like we said earlier. Hey, all we had was D'Lo Brown and Farouk, and Mark Henry, the only potentials of American Negroes that we could see on the show at any given week. But now we got 6 to 10 people that we could potentially watch, but we're just not seeing them, and we're not seeing them in successful positions. Is that the reason
Oh,
why it seemed like it's worse?
Well, yeah. I mean, the most you see is all the main stars of the Raw or SmackDown is that the only way they get any type of notice is NXT. And then when they go to NXT, if I you have main stars going back to NXT, why the hell is A Town Down going to NXT? They already graduated and such, that type of things. Because once you put in the NXT stuff, Colin Hayes has just been losing, and then he finally beats Akira Tozawa. Oh wow, that's gonna give him where he's getting up there, and I guarantee you when Trick Williams or Ricky Starks or
I just
whatever.
found out that Carmelo Hayes' win against the Jap was his first win since September, mid September.
Oh yeah, and he's been floating around and such. I honestly, you know,
It's
like
shit
I
like
said,
that.
it's gonna
It's
be
shit
Trick
like that.
Williams.
And then it's
Yeah,
shit like that get to me with white folk because the key is the one of the points that I wanted to make was the fact that white folk think that the problem that we have is the fact that they are not there. The problem that we have is that there is no genuine effort being put behind the ones that is there. And white folk will sit up here and tell us to be satisfied because Carmelo Hayes was in the Royal Rumble, or Carmelo Hayes had a match against the WWE champion Cody Rhodes, or Carmelo
dark
Hayes
match.
had a U.S. title match, or Carmelo Hayes did this. Mind you, they're only naming one person, and then when you sit back and look at it and realize that Carmelo Hayes has not, throughout all of this, has not won a match since September. And there's no telling how many matches he's won before that September too. And then y'all sitting up here telling me that we supposed to be satisfied and content with you naming one person that's being shown on TV consistently.
The issue, and I will continue to say this, is because there are no real, Hunter is just again is not as good as he is. He doesn't build any type of real stars. It's just been just focusing on the old guys and just leaning on what Vince McMahon his doing little notes like, oh, I'm gonna add a little this here and everything else. He hasn't built anything real of stuff here. And
He
before
hasn't
I
built a
gotta
single
leave,
star. He hasn't built a single star. Somebody
no
tried to
young
tell
star.
me that he built Jay Uso,
Yeah,
which that's still,
I was in that call.
yeah, that was that's still coming off the bloodline, which was very strong by the time Vince
And the
McMahon was still
Uso
there.
stuff.
So he
And he
didn't
tag teams.
create Jay Uso. Was there anybody that we named up there that he possibly created? Tiffany Stratton, possibly.
Yeah, but I put that mostly on Sean. Because again, I mean, what is
Yeah.
Tiffany Stratton doing? What is Tiffany Stratton doing now? She's just sitting there
Well,
just
I
doing
meant to
promo
ask this
and
up there. Since she won the WWE Women's Championship, I haven't heard any noise from her. Has she done anything? Is she feuding with anybody? Did Nia Jax want to
Charlotte
rip her
Flair.
fucking head off?
Nah, she doesn't. Nope, they just moved on.
So
It's Charlotte Flair.
let's not move on that because they've been teasing uh Tiffany Stratton cashing in on this bitch since she got the money in the bank. They put them together. And Nia Jax said, bitch, if you ever turn on me, I'll kill you. She had her choked up and everything. I think she said the words, I would kill you. I think. Don't quote me on that. But she said something of the sort. And the bitch went on and did the exact same thing anyway. And they just completely dropped the storyline. Is that what you saying, Duke?
Oh yeah, it's done. She just doesn't care.
And Nia
And I'm
Jax
like,
had a
this
very
should have been
dominant
Nia
title reign.
Jax. Yeah, Nia Jax should have just came in and just destroyed her. But no, that should have been the whole program of Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton fighting her off or whatever. If she's gonna be this
Because
baby
they
face
should
now,
be having this women's title match. They could have had
a
it at
blood feud.
the Royal Rumble, but hey, if y'all didn't want to do that, they could be setting this feud up
Saturday main
for
event.
elimination chamber. But they just completely just dropping it all together. I can't believe
Yeah,
that.
she was like, I'm focusing on whatever now, and
So,
Candace is
because
supposed to
one of
be
the
her
key
friend
things that I
now.
want to keep, one of the key things I want to keep together is Triple H, since he started, has not started a storyline and finished a storyline to where at least 70% of the people were satisfied. If I'm wrong on that, does anyone know of a storyline that Triple H started and finished?
Only in
Nope.
NXT.
Speaking strictly WWE, or on SmackDown. DIY it
Vince's
ain't,
quick notes.
huh?
The crib notes of Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Was the
That's what
Drew
he's
CM
doing.
Punk feud Triple H idea?
Possibly.
Yeah, and
Um,
that's it.
But I
but
mean, that
that's
was a
somebody brought
bad
that up.
feud. I
Somebody
think,
brought that up. But the thing about that is, CM Punk was injured most of the year.
and I think the wrong person came out on top of that. I think CM Punk should have took that. He could eat that loss. I mean, he's CM Punk. What
That
like Drew
don't
McIntyre
really
gonna be
matter
here?
because it wouldn't have hurt no way.
They're
If
old guys. They're old.
I
that's
thought it
why I
was
They're
say it
old.
special.
wouldn't have
Where's the
mattered
young?
because it wouldn't have mattered because don't nobody give a shit today. If Drew McIntyre had a won today, the feeling that you have on everything, you would still have the same feelings. Wins and losses don't mean nothing so long as they could get these wins back. Then again, Drew McIntyre has consistently been a loser ever since losing the WWE title. And Drew McIntyre has been a loser before he won the WWE title. Yet, people still look at him as a contender and they still look at him as a threat. How many American Negroes do you all look as a contender and as a threat despite them losing so much? Case in point, we just said Carmelo Hayes. Do y'all believe that Carmelo Hayes, as a loser, could win the WWE Championship at any time, like Drew
Nope.
McIntyre?
No.
Nope.
Please.
No.
And honestly,
Oh wow.
it's been it's just been they have not done a good job making any new stars. It's just been on a holding pattern. If I want to be honest, probably since
Oh,
that whole
I
stupid
just want to
crown
keep
jewel
this in
thing.
context right quick. If Dominic Mysterio lost every single match that he's had last year, do y'all think that he could win a WWE Championship this year?
Fuck no.
Well,
I was
he's been
expecting you to say
positioned.
yes.
And he was in a no one contendership match this year, last year.
Yeah.
People seem to forget that.
I,
He
I,
has that type of he. And remember, he was a North American champion too, so he has
So
that
even throughout
capability
his
of taking many
failures, he's
losses.
still able to obtain successes, or at least still be viewed as a believable contender to something, right? My point
Yeah,
is, they could book all these other people to be losers, and you can always come back and fucking be a success. Baron Corbin, this, that, and other. You can always come back and be a success. You always got opportunity. But once American Negroes start to fail, that's the end of American Negroes. Mike, you shouldn't have said that Dominic wouldn't have these opportunities if he lost every match because he damn near did lose every match last year. And again, as Duke pointed out, he was able to obtain the United States, the North American title. He was able to become WWE, get a number one contendership for the WWE title. He may end up being in the Elimination Chamber. You know what I'm saying? By the end of the year, he may end up being a contender for the WWE title, if not the WWE champion. You know, and this is
Nepo baby.
uh, yeah, because what he didn't start in NXT, he came straight to the WWE, right?
oh yeah, he was a tag
Yep.
team partner of Rey Mysterio,
He
and
was tag teaming
that's
with
what
his
it
dad.
is.
And he
Yeah,
was
tag team
dog shit.
champions. Yeah, and Logan Paul out wrestled him. I was there in Armenia, by the way, when the tickets were actually, you could actually afford those tickets. So yeah, and oh man, my
Don't
podcast gonna
start trying to
start
sound
like in
like
20 minutes.
Time Ron. I could afford them tickets now.
No, I can't afford them, man. I was like, I wanted to go there because I haven't been there in a while. I wanted to actually redeem myself. The last WrestleMania for that, I was at WrestleMania 27, which he had that horrible Michael Cole match, but still. But yeah,
Dog
I was
shit.
gonna say, yeah. I just gotta say this though. Before I hang up, I got the podcast I gotta do. I want to say this: it is the opportunities have been lacking, and the reason why is that they just don't see African American Negroes or everything else as they don't see them as big stars, and like you see what Linda McMahon, basically talking like, oh, you think African American studies, are they a part of all that stuff? And he said, "Oh, we got to look into that and everything." And meanwhile, who was sitting behind her?
Triple H.
Oh, yep.
Triple H,
And people say,
Stephanie.
"Oh, she's not."
Triple H,
Yeah,
Stephanie, Shane, and Shane's wife. And mind you, Shane's wife used to be bad as fuck for a white lady. That bitch looked like oh gosh, she looked like I was watching the League of Our Own like a month ago. She looked like one of the bitches when they was old. Y'all just gotta see what I'm talking about to see what I'm talking about. I'll
mm,
send a picture later. But anyway, the bitch look fucked up.
And
But the thing is, I know you gotta go, so we can kind of move on to Linda McMahon real quick because this just developed within the last couple hours. Bitch, what you mean you don't know? You got to look into it. When this was a hot topic for Republicans for years, over a decade, and over the last year, they've been specifically harping down on getting rid of CRT and Black History. Specifically, normally they would say CRT, but this time they're actually talking about Black history and what he called it African American studies. Um, Linda McMahon is well aware of what's going on. Why do you think that this white woman couldn't confront that today in front of these
mm,
people?
yeah. Oh,
Well,
and
why
by
is
the
she
way,
still
it's
trying to conceal? Why is she still trying to conceal her intentions? Bitch, if this is your intentions and there's nothing that nobody could do about it, why do you have a hard time saying what your intentions truly are? And why is it like that?
yeah, and also it's Black History Month, and the WWE has not talked about anything about Black history.
I haven't been watching the shows, Chad. Is that accurate?
that's 100% accurate.
Do they usually spotlight anything or anybody for Black history?
They do it with everybody else. This moment
Yeah,
in Polynesian history, this moment in Latino history, we used to get it. We're not. It hasn't happened.
That's what
It's
I
about to
kind
be
of figured.
Valentine's Day.
Now they still do Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and the only reason why they do Martin Luther King Jr. Day, for the record, is because it's always held on a Monday, which is primarily
Hmm.
when Monday Night Raw is held. So that's the only reason why they do it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna hang out,
Duke, I
man. I
appreciate you.
gotta go.
Real quick, do you want to plug your show?
Duke CT Lounge is gonna be live as well. About to be out there. We'll be talking the releases, WAW releases, the Ricky Starks and NXT, and all that big old hullabaloo, and like all the recent movie trailer stuff for the movies and everything else, and you know just like entertaining stuff and getting outside the world of wrestling, which is just terrible, and everyone else using nostalgia. But anyway, that's all I gotta say. I'll see y'all later.
All right,
Peace.
thanks for coming through.
All right, bro.
We're gonna get ready to move on to Ricky Starks in a minute once we get finished with Raw. Is there anything else to happen on Raw that we need to know about?
Nah, nothing really.
Okay, so
Lackluster.
for the record, for the last time, the only American Negroes to appear was the New Day, and that was immediately cut as soon as they did it. And the WWE did not heavily promote it this week, right? One last thing. So we've been talking about it over the last couple of weeks about the New Day. Um, what moves are they going to make with the New Day? How are they going to progress the New Day beyond just getting booed every single week? This week they made a move. Owner, do you think they gonna do anything further with this, given this new development?
I really can't see it. They haven't followed through with anything else this far.
No confidence. Mike, how about you?
No confidence at all.
No confidence. Chad. Chad just somehow didn't I just have his ass up here? All right, let me get Barry up here before we get down to NXT. Barry, welcome to Wrestling with Racism. Negro, what's up?
Like I said, you're not gonna see no black champions this year at WWE.
No, it's looking that way. Um, like I said, we just recognized that Carmelo Hayes had his first win since September, and Carmelo Hayes is the only American Negro that they've been, so to speak, pushing. Owner made the point to where it, even though it seemed like it's a lot more American Negroes than we are accustomed to seeing at one time, since the success is not translating onto television, then it just seemed worse than when we did just have the one and two, if that, on the program.
Tag team championships and Bianca being stuck in the tag division is some kind of accomplishment. No, it's not.
I can't hear you. It's hard to hear.
I said that tag team that Bianca was in, they act like that was an accomplishment. Or like what such and such getting TV time. Carmelo Hayes getting TV time. They act like
Yeah,
that's an accomplishment.
that's why I say, like, white folk argument to us is the fact that they have them. They think that our only problem with the WWE is that they didn't have them. And we telling them now the problem is not the fact that y'all don't have them, even though that's a major problem. The ones that you do have, we're not seeing any sustainable success. And I think white folk keep forgetting this. And I'm going to always bring this up. Wrestling is a fake, scripted sport. And everybody know that American Negroes are the most athletic, entertaining, and charismatic people in the world. Our talents touch the world. It can make our talents could bring the most racist white man to tears, depending on what aspect he's looking at our entertainment from. Yet we can't be presented as such in a fake, scripted sport. A sport that's built off of combat, a sport that's built off of weakness and strength, and American Negroes are at the bottom of it. Mike, since when did Japanese people become athletic?
I can't even tell you. Probably around 80s, 90s, if I had to guess.
And are they really athletic? Like, um, is there a Japanese Magic Johnson?
Magic Johnson, no.
Is there is there a Mexican Deion Sanders?
I've never seen one.
I'm trying to figure out when the fuck these Mexicans and Japanese
Or is there a
became athletic.
European? Is there a European Michael Jordan or Australian LeBron James?
I,
No.
Luka Doncic, I guess if people want to say that. But
But
he'll
yeah, Lucas.
he
What's that
different.
country he's from?
Slovenia.
The thing is, though, he came up Slovak. Same with Nikola Jokic. But the thing with Luka is his game is more like the Floyd game.
It's more like what?
Luca's game is more of a floor game. You know what I mean? He's not going to beat you with his athleticism.
Yeah,
Not at all.
yeah. The game is
So,
too soft. And that's why he's able to open up and do what he do. Negro, what's up?
Part of the reason why the ratings are down.
Yeah, most definitely. The white production that we've been this international whites on top of that that we've been getting from Jokic and Luca. That's all good and great, but it's not bringing. Don't nobody really want to see that shit in real time.
and Luka Doncic and Jokic really don't play no defense, and they really don't have no athleticism, no explosiveness in their game.
Well, that's
They
why I say
just
they soft as shit. It's low key soft as shit, and it's easy for them to do what they do because the NBA won't allow you to touch them. Draymond Green hasn't knocked Luka Doncic's head off. Negro, what's up? Welcome to Wrestling with Racism. You speaking? If you speak, can everybody hear him?
No?
One more thing. Well, one more thing. What was going on with Linda McMahon? I heard she was a big, huge top.
Linda McMahon, they asked her,
Can you hear me now?
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. My bad. What caused my bad, good brother. What caused? What do you mean by the death of Rick Starks in White Accountability Month?
I'm
Because
gonna have to hold off on that. That's gonna be the next subject. It's a wrestling thing.
okay, because I was looking at it to see if he physically died, and that wasn't the case.
If you
So I'm
haven't learned
assuming
about
that.
wrestling with racism by now, Negro,
Yeah, no. I'm aware of that. Because when you think of accountability, I'm thinking of like the opioids,
no, well,
steroid
oh,
use.
white history.
These are the things that
Black
white
history.
boys
This
use.
theme. This you haven't been up here in a minute. This theme of this year, Black History Month. This year's Black History Month is gonna be White Accountability Month. White, we're gonna hold white folk accountable for everything that they contributed to Black history. So, in this sense, when it come down to Ricky Starks, I gotta stay in order. When it come down to Ricky Starks is a white man that's coming out. He's another Rachel Dozell. He's a literal Rachel Dozell right here in 2025. He is a white man or whatever, Italian or Polish. What else could Ricky Starks be? He's something, but he's not an American Negro. He's trying to say that he's Creole, but we not buying that shit. But he is a white man that's
Then is
coming up.
he showing his paperwork to
He
verify
hasn't
that?
shown shit.
Respectfully.
As a matter of fact, he's addressed me directly several times. Even went on to a interview with Andreas Hell and addressed foundational Black Americans. He called
You was shitting
foundational
on
Black.
us.
He called foundational Black Americans of false ideology of what it means to be Black.
Okay. That's such a. I'm glad that you brought this up and brought this to my attention. There's a lot of lineage, bloodline fraudsters and stuff of that nature, who are trying to get unearned benefits off of Negro, right, and off of being a Black American. You see this in academics where you have foreign melanated people checking off the black box when they should be hitting other and identifying themselves as such, right? These are some of the things that I see that's going on. And I would ask him, when you're signing contracts or the employment with the Wrestling Federation, did you say that identify yourself as black? Did you sign that on paperwork? Those are some of the things that I would start off from
The
there.
thing
What does
is,
your driver's
the
license
thing
say?
about him
What does his driver's
the
license say?
thing about him is he always gonna say he black, he black, he black, he black. Anytime I ask people that's potentially of other ethnic groups what their ethnicity is, they're going to constantly stick with black. And I'm finding these people to not get specific. I say, hey, what are you? Are you Nigerian? Are you Ghanaian? Are you Jamaican? Are you Haitian? Like, what are you? What are you? I'm black. I'm black. I'm black. And
and
so that's the
like
only
Ricky
answer that you're
Stark.
gonna get. And it's funny too because white folk is so hypocritical. And this they're not going to hide anything. White folks sit down and tell you all about, hey, my family got here in 1935. We came here off of this, and my family 200 years ago they were Polish and da 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 da. They'll tell you all fucking day, volunteer all this information, but American Negroes are racist for asking about other people historical lineage background. Like, what is racist about that?
I can trace my lineage all the way back to 1799 Louisiana.
And you wouldn't have an issue telling people that, right?
Nope.
What would be the purpose of you trying to hide that? As a matter of fact, aren't you proud of that?
Yeah. I can
Well,
say
it's
that.
cultural. Mm.
I got a question. So there's a long history of Jamaicans tethering, and Panamanians tethering.
I'm sorry.
I said there's a long history of Jamaicans tethering
Well,
Jamaicans. There's just a long history of that,
Jamaicans
right?
generally got their own identity that they're proud of. Um, do Jamaicans really tether off of our culture? You got the ones when they numbers is low in whatever areas they may be, they tend to tether, but Jamaicans generally stick to their culture. It's them fucking Haitians. Them Haitians be
I bet you.
And
Samoans.
Haitians and Jamaicans like to wave the
I've
finger at
seen
us.
Jamaicans tether to hip hop.
Oh yeah,
But they
And
still
you got
cut
Haitians that tether to
but
hip hop
they
too.
still
Lauren
kind of
Hill's
but
Haitian.
that's on the musical tip, but they still kind of stick to their culture on the way that they dress, the way that they eat, and a lot of their lingo, right?
No, you got now. What's that guy? The guy from Twitch, Nikon Cent, or that
Kai
weirdo guy.
Cenat,
I
Yeah,
Sanat.
that guy. Yeah, Kai Cenat. Yeah,
he a
he's
tether.
a Haitian. Yeah, he's a Haitian man. He looks like a Negro. He looks like a Negro from a hip hop video.
Nah, he
So
looked
like
like a
I
Jamaican.
no no no. Let me let me
Wait a
let me
minute,
let me
well,
pull up the
he
let me
do
pull up the pictures
no
of him.
he no wait a minute, because I don't want to confuse the audience. We got delineating eyes, most people don't. So a lot of people
Fact.
still look at black as black. So that's exactly why we delineate, and that's exactly why we talk about the importance of delineation. And by the way, everyone go check out the importance of delineation series and the importance of not delineating series on YouTube. Y'all can go check that out. It's in the playlist. But like I said, this is why it's not us being racist toward people like Jade Cargill or Obafemi or fucking give me another tether real quick, Moose and all these other motherfuckers. It's not us being racist, it's us recognizing our ancestral and cultural differences. Because like I said, French people is not gonna sit up here and be compared to Irish people. German people is not gonna sit up there and be compared to the people of the UK. So why do y'all want to sit up here and continue to compare black and black when American is much different than a Nigerian? Go ahead, Negro. Bro, where the hell you been?
Yeah, I'm right here, bro. Some of the things I'm observing is cultural impersonation, cultural infringement, right? Race shifting. These are various different crimes that are on the books, right? In regards to other ethnicity groups trying to get unearned benefits from our community. That's where I'm more or less discussing and talking about here, and what I'm observing with this Ricky Starks guy. I don't think that his paperwork says that he's even black. Like we
Like I
could just
said, he from
safely.
New Orleans. He from Louisiana, I would say. I'm not sure if it's specifically New Orleans, but he from Louisiana. So he's trying to play that Creole
That
shift.
swarthy Negro card. That swarthy Negro card. That's what that Ben Franklin warned us about. These individuals that are white passing. They got quote unquote Negro in the bloodline, or that 1% drop of blood, which I'm calling cap. I'm calling major cap on the stringy haired, mop headed looking wrestler here.
Yeah, see, my thing
Because
is, I asked the other day, how did your hair get like that? Did you use juices and berries, or did you fucking you know put some conk in your head? How did your texture get like that?
And
yeah,
these
that was
the biracial ones, they all have a story of somebody calling them a nigger when they was a kid. That's funny to me.
Yeah. Oh
Mercedes,
man,
Ricochet,
Sasha Banks
Ricky,
hit
they all
that
have the
shit.
same story.
Sasha Banks hit that shit. Ricochet hit that shit. And it's funny because you don't hear Booker T, Mark Henry talking about people calling them
I
N-words, and
grew up in Mississippi.
they probably did in real life call them that, and especially being down in Texas. But
Nah,
these
white
mixed
people don't play
people,
like that.
these
White
mi-
people don't play like that.
these mixed people have no issue coming out to, hey, when I was growing up, I used to be called a nigger, despite the fact that your hair just as long and straight. Get the fuck out of here.
And then on top of that, though, they'll go off and say that black people are racist when we're trying to preserve the cultural integrity of our community, right? Self governance when it comes to our culture, ethnicity, lineage. Like, have somebody impersonate a white Jewish person and act like that Jewish community is not going to question
Oh
them.
man, they
Act like
gonna
these
go up in
nonprofits
there.
and
Fucking
organizations are
Captain
not.
America right now. Captain America to white folk is white. So now this is supposed to be the worst movie of the year as a result.
I remember when I was growing up, my mom told me a story that Captain America was actually intended to be black, but they were too scared to go through with it.
I'm not sure, but I wouldn't doubt it. You know what I'm saying? Look how long it took them for them to actually go through with it. And if it does come out trash, you better believe that it was purposely done. Anthony Mackie is not a horrible actor at all.
You, I think he's set up for failure. They set him up for failure.
Yeah. And this is what I say about them, what they do with a lot of American Negroes in the WWE. Like I said, wrestling is a fake scripted sport. Wrestling is something where Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker and Chris Jericho and all these other people could tell you that they took certain liberties in the ring and to become as great as they did. But if Bianca Belair, the top star in the business, were to take a certain liberty, she would be ostracized from the business. You know what I'm saying? So we looking at the hypocrisy from the whites. The American Negroes do not have the opportunity to take liberties to step up and be greater in their career. They don't have that opportunity. Um, that's what I say about women like Jakara Jackson and Last Legend. That's where they gonna end up being in trouble. If Carmelo Hayes was to step out and want to do something, that's where he will find himself being in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So I do want to get back on the wrestling aspect right quick. Actually, you know what? Since we got a good hour out of that, we do got to get back on the wrestling aspect because we got a lot of things to get into. So we about to get ready to cut this right here, and we're going to have part two coming up later on this evening. With that being said, everyone take care of yourselves as an individual and protect one another as family. As our ancestor, Frankie Beverly, stated plainly, we are one. And that's the way it is. We here at Rasslin with Racism want to thank everyone for tuning in to this very important episode. Part two will be available shortly if it's not available already. Please be sure to check it out. And if you are not a subscriber, check out the other content. And if it hits you to the core, subscribe and share with every single American Negro that you know, whether they are wrestling fans or not. Also, you may check Wrestling with Racism out on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Fanbase, and at Non Crackers at Al on Twitter X for more white truths. Take care of yourself as an individual and one another as family. As our ancestor Frankie Beverly stated plainly, we are one. And that's the way it is.